reading from the site of my magazine Daily Guides. You have to excuse me for whatever wild and wonderful reason. My voice today is definitely a bit under the weather. I'm not sure why. I feel perfectly fine. It's kind of weird, so I just have to get used to it. And I'm trying to get back to my original screen here, which is here. So today's reading is, of course, once again from the Science of Mind Daily Guides, the writer being my senior minister, Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings. Today's challenge, once again, has been technology. For whatever wild and wonderful reason, Facebook just wouldn't work on my main computer. So I checked my phone, fine. My iPad, fine. So I had to reboot the whole system. And I was thinking, I'm going to be early for once. Well, I'm on time, which is okay, right? So here we go. Today's reading is quite understandable. Now, sometimes science of mind, religious science, and its teachers, leaders, etc., it can be quite involved and it can be hard to understand. And I'm not saying I'm any different in that regard. But today's reading is quite clear. It's quite easy to understand. So I don't have to do much unpacking, which is good. I like it. So here we go. It's called There Is More to It. And we're just gonna. Oh, no. See, I told you, technology is just does not want to cooperate today. Here we go. First quote is from Jack Addington. I'd heard the name and I knew he was involved in a lot of New Thought stuff in the 20th century. Anyway, he apparently was originally a lawyer and then he became a minister and a lecturer and an author. He's written a whole bunch of books such as Body, Mind and Spirit, Healing, Prayer and Spirituality, and so on and so forth. And I think he founded 2 churches, and I think he was associated with Ernest Holmes. I'm not sure. Anyway, main thing is, he says, no, the life that we see is not the only view. It is a segment of the great whole. No, the life we see is not the only view. It is a segment of the great whole. And this is Ernest Holmes in Creative Living. And it's published in 1997, 37 years after he passed, but obviously from work he did before. And it's on pages 25 and 26. And this is what Ernest Holmes says. Like all truths, when understood, the truth about spiritual power of thought is simple and may be approached directly. Truth is not something divulged to the select by a zealous deity, nor is it given to a chosen few by direct revelation of a capricious God. We should resolutely brush aside all superstitions and discredit any attempt that may be made by anyone to cover that which will not be concealed. He says, we have a mind and we're surrounded by and immersed in an infinite intelligence. This is simple enough. We think, and thought is a force definitely directed. There's no mystery about this. Anyone can understand it. Intelligent thought is directed energy. What makes it so? No one knows. It is so. But there is more to it than this, because energy flows through thought. Because energy flows through thought, the more spiritual the thought, the finer the results. And you can define more spiritual in any way you want. I would define it as pure thought. If your thoughts are pure, then they're spiritual. So it's not just self-serving, and it's definitely not directed against anyone or anything. The thoughts are for good intentions for yourself and for the world in general. And this is what Reverend Jesse has to say. He says, material positivity says, I know exactly what I want, and now I claim exactly that. That's material positivity. He's not saying there's anything wrong with it, but he says, it says, I know exactly what I want, And now I claim exactly that. So I want the house down the street. I don't want anything else. That's the house I want. And that's what I'm claiming. Spiritual positivity says instead, I know exactly what I want and now claim that or even better. For there is something that sees more than I do. And then he says, remember that Ernest Holmes taught us there's a power for good in the universe that is greater than we are. That means it's not bound by the intellectual constraints of prior experience. It knows what could be coming as well as what's here now. And it links all of us together in its creative delivery system. So Reverend Jesse's saying, yes, there is a power in the universe. And Ernest Holmes put it this way. He said, there's a power for good. And that power for good is, I'm paraphrasing, he said there's a power for good in the universe. And that power is greater than you are, but you can use it. So there's a power for good in the universe that is within you, and it's greater than you are, and you can use it because why? It flows through all things. So the basic concept really is that there is something that brought everything into creation, and that it is a living thing. It has a conscious and a subconscious. And that when we make use of its subconscious mind, that's the power, then we can direct thoughts and feelings into it and produce stuff on the material plane. Most of you have probably heard this numerous times, but it's a reminder. It's saying, use that power and use it for good. So it's really that simple. It's not anything any more complicated. How do we do it? We do it with what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. So in other words, we acknowledge that there is this power that's greater than we are. We unify that with that power. We say it's flowing through us right now and that we can use it. And then we put our thoughts and feelings around what it is that we want to experience or have manifest. And then we express gratitude for that, because gratitude is a wonderful catalyst in this. And then we release it for this wonderful power that exists throughout the universe to do its thing and bring whatever it is we want into material manifestation, whether it's curing an illness, it's bringing more money in, it's getting us a new job, a new house, a new partner even. But as we say, with all these things, you got to be careful, because if you specify on one thing and say that's it, the end of it, I want that and nothing else, then you leave yourself wide open to potentially getting that and it not being for your highest good or the highest good of anybody else. I now permit the spirit within me to express itself in freedom, bringing increased joy and harmony into my experience. I now permit the spirit within me to express itself in freedom, bringing increased joy and harmony into my experience. So I would like to thank Centers for Spiritual Living. I would like to thank Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings, the late great Ernest Holmes, and all other teachers throughout the ages who told us that this power exists and we can use it. And I am grateful for this, and I release my gratitude into a divine law that always says yes, and so it is.